Hi everyone, I'm Pat Prokop, retired meteorologist, and today is Wednesday, August 30th. It's now early afternoon, approaching 1 o'clock. It's actually a little bit after 1 o'clock as I started this recording. And Hurricane Idalia is now in southeastern Georgia, just to the north of Valdosta, still with 85-mile-per-hour winds. It's a Category 1 hurricane at the moment, but still, it's a hurricane well deep into Georgia and moving off to the northeast. So that being said, let's take a look at the radar summary. And first of all, tornado watches continue until 3 o'clock in the afternoon for southeastern Georgia and south central Georgia, and then for the eastern counties of north of us into South Carolina. And in portions of North Carolina until 10 o'clock this evening. We're still seeing quite a bit of precipitation associated with this hurricane as it moves off to the north. Looking at these wind barbs here, you can see the winds have been gusting over 65 miles an hour in around the Valdosta area. In both regions, both weather stations in Valdosta, there's a 60 and a 65 mile an hour wind gust right there. And a lot of stations in the south reporting winds gusting up to 40 to 45, even up to 50 miles per hour. And there's one at Jacksonville at 50 miles an hour. And as this storm continues to move off to the north, we're going to start seeing those winds increasing across the greater Savannah area. This is from the Jacksonville radar right now, and it's showing the broad area of precipitation just to the north of the eye of the storm, moving in across southeastern Georgia, Pearson, Douglas, Alma, Baxley, getting very heavy rains, Idalia over into the Glenville area, Pembroke getting some gusty winds and some squalls passing across that area along with Statesboro. But the coastal counties are not getting that much rain. I mean, we're getting some. I'm already up to just shy of an inch of rain here at my location in the south side of Savannah at Coffee Bluff. But we're also seeing these bands here. Are the ones that are concerning to me right now, because these bands right here over in southeastern Georgia are going to be moving off to the north. And as the afternoon continues, the atmosphere will continue to destabilize, which is normal anytime after high noon, which is at 1:30 right now, Central on Eastern Daylight Time. The atmosphere starts cooling off faster than the surface, and hence it becomes unstable. And we're going to see these bands probably intensify somewhat. These will be bands of squalls, and those squalls will have very strong winds associated with it, and even some possibility of some isolated quick spin-up tornadoes. Now, looking at the weather maps itself and going into the regional radar again, here we can see updated values of the wind speeds, and very strong across south central and southeastern Georgia, and picking up in the upper portions of southeastern Georgia and southern South Carolina. Now, the National Hurricane Center has the forecast path of the storm still to be a hurricane as it moves toward the Savannah River, the lower portion of the Savannah River, right around the Port Wentworth, Guyton area and Rincon area as of 8 o'clock this evening, and then by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning off the coast of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But the concern here is that it will still be a hurricane, producing hurricane force winds late this afternoon into the evening hours. I want to show you this map here. And this is the computer forecast map. This is the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh model. And it shows the storm, again, moving off to the northeast and moving right into the upper portions of southeastern Georgia to the lower portions of the Savannah River Valley, and then moving off toward the northeast. And most of the precipitation after this, here we are, this is at midnight tonight. The precipitation will be ending, but the winds will be continuing across the region. A lot of people have been asking me, is this similar to Hurricane Matthew back in 2016? Well, similar, but not quite the same. Matthew, the eye of the storm, stayed east of the coast of Georgia, and when it passed closest to Chatham County, it was 20 miles offshore from Tybee Island. And we were getting strong southerly winds and southeasterly winds throughout the afternoon and evening hours. But then overnight, when the eye of the storm passed to the east and north of Tybee, the backside of the winds came in, and that's where we saw most of the damage from that was after about 3 o'clock in the morning on the backside, where those winds turned around and came down from the northwest, and that knocked down a lot of trees. So with that being said, let's take a look at the forecast models for this afternoon. Now, this is the regional GEM model. and the Global Environmental Mesoscale model. And it shows the storm, like we just saw with the rapid refresh model, moving off toward the northeast. Now, this is the area I'm concerned about, and the time frame I'm concerned about. This is right around 9 o'clock tonight. Let's go back just a couple of hours. Let's go back to 7 o'clock. And here you can see very strong pressure gradient here. Now, we're getting the southerly winds in advance of it, and that's also going to be pushing up the tides across Chatham County and into Beaufort and Colleton counties and Charleston counties. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But the storm behind it will have a strong northwest flow of winds coming in. Now, as we go into the sunset, 8 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, look how tight that pressure gradient is. That's where we could see some very strong damaging winds moving in across the area. Besides the winds coming in with the squalls that will be passing through the area throughout the afternoon and early evening hours, after the rain ends, the winds will continue, and we might see a lot of the tree damage at this time between, let's say, 7 o'clock this evening to about midnight tonight will be the worst time in the upper portions of southeastern Georgia, and then from around 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning for Beaufort County, Jasper County, Hampton County, Colleton County, and South Carolina will be your strongest winds associated with the storm there. But then it begins to move out, and the winds will diminish, and things will begin to clear off. As a matter of fact, some great weather coming in for this Labor Day weekend. But I'm watching the tide right now, and the tide pack maxed out this morning at about 9 feet. So it wasn't all that high. The winds just weren't quite pushing it hard enough, but they are pushing it now, and the water is rising. As the tide's going out, the water's not falling all that much, and right now, the tide is riding up almost 3 feet above the value it should be. So instead of a 1 foot surge here, we're almost getting a 3 foot surge beginning to develop, but the tide's going out, so nothing to worry about here. And then it'll be back high again this evening. And when it gets up to high, it'll be at 8.8 feet. And then if the water is rising 3 to 4 feet above that, we could see some flooding, saltwater flooding with the high tide. So we keep an eye on that. Now, looking at the prediction of the precipitation values across the region, again, most of the heaviest rains are inland, with the bulk of the precipitation on the north side of the eye itself and pushing northward as the eye and then northeastward. You'll see that band of rain. Not as much rain in the coastal areas, but still enough rain. We're still going to get some more rain, some of those squalls coming in. But anyway, 5 to 6 inches of rain, 7 inches of rain in some places. Looks like South Carolina, central South Carolina, eastern South Carolina is going to get the bulk of the rain, and over into North Carolina, extremely heavy rains there as well. All right, let's take a look at the webpage itself, my website, savannahpat.name. And I want to go back to the National Hurricane Center page. I want to look at one other thing over here. That's the tide peak surge right here. Here we are, right here. I wanted to see this. From St. Catharines Sound southward into the mouth of the St. Mary's River, expect a tide of 2 to 4 feet. I wouldn't even expect that for tonight. But from St. Catharines Sound northward across the upper portions of southeastern Georgia and most of the southeast and east central portions of South Carolina coast, the tide will be 3 to 5 feet above the values, and the value tonight is 8.8 feet. So we're talking possibility of 12-foot tide coming in tonight, maybe even higher than that if all things go wrong. And so keep an eye on the tide tonight. That'll be about 10:30 this evening for the high tide across our area. So as I mentioned, though, the weather for this weekend is going to be very, very nice as the system pulls out. Dry air will be pushed in across the region. And for the Labor Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, expect to see highs in the mid to upper 80s, but the lows mostly in the upper to middle 60s, and dry air flowing across the region. So we're going to have some nice cleanup weather, I suppose, for this weekend coming in. So keep an eye on the weather. We got these tornado watches in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon across southeastern Georgia, until 10 o'clock tonight across eastern portions of South Carolina. This is the radar late this afternoon or mid-afternoon now, and we're seeing these squall lines developing, and these are going to be packing strong gusty winds, and the strong gradient winds around the eye of the storm itself will be moving off into our area later this afternoon and throughout the evening hours. Expect to see wind gusting over 75 miles per hour, perhaps at times, in the upper portions of southeastern Georgia and southern South Carolina with the passage of this storm. So we might have a lot of tree limb damage and a lot of power outages to be associated with this. So keep that in mind. And the bottom line again is stay safe. Thanks for watching.